Shields up, Paladins, and welcome to our For Honor Hero Guide. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'll be talking to you all about the Warmonger and how I like to use this particular character. The Warmonger is one of the Vanguard characters within the Knight faction. She has an easy difficulty rating, as well as she is adaptable and straightforward. Her base stats are her health is set to 130, her stamina is set to 120, and her sprint speed is set to 2.4 milliseconds. Now with all this being said and done, let's go ahead and jump on right on over to her feats. Her tier 1 feats are Corruption Blade. Next attack inflicts corruption, a power dealing damage to a target and their allies only if they stay close together. Rush, triggered to gain movement speed for a short duration. And Conquer, which is a passive ability. Capture control zones faster, and picked up boosts last longer. Her tier 2 feats are Elixir of Corruption, which is a passive ability. You gain health from damage dealt to corrupted foes. Arrow Strike, call an arrow strike dealing moderate damage over an area. And Flesh Wound, which is a passive ability. Gain moderate damage reduction every 3 seconds. Her tier 3 feats are Power of Corruption, which is a passive ability. Damage dealt to corrupted foes is increased. Punch Through, which is a passive ability. Your block damage is increased. And Toughest Nails, which is a passive ability, raises max health when unlocked. And finally, for her tier 4 feat, she has Corruption Blast, which is corrupt nearby foes. Corruption deals damage to a target and their allies only if they stay close together. Arrow Storm, which is an aerial attack that deals medium damage to multiple areas. And Auto Revive, which is a passive ability, automatically revive upon death unless executed. Now for the Warmonger, I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to run the very first feat in each tier. She, in my personal opinion, is the anti-ganker, and the reason why I say that is for multiple of reasons. Think of Corruption as in the Nusha's 4th tier feat. Pretty much, if you don't know what the Nusha's 4th tier feat that I'm talking about, and I forget what it's called, so I do apologize. It's basically whenever she puts this feat on somebody, you're taking damage constantly over a set amount of time. But the way that this particular corruption works is that you put it on somebody, and if they are taking damage, or if they are by an ally, they are taking more damage, and if they are by their soldiers, as in the pikemen and the, you got your captains, the pikemen, the officers, and stuff like that. If they're by those guys, they're also taking damage. So, basically, Corruption, as I said, is the anti-ganking tool. As in, okay, for an example, if I'm down on the ram, using the raider for an example, I say, hey, look, I'm getting, ganked, and usually Lost or Kier is with me. They'll run down with this particular character, buff with Corruption Blade, or use Corruption Blast, and go ahead and hit one of the characters or one of the heroes that I'm fighting, and then boom, all of a sudden now they're taking extra damage out of nowhere. Then on top of that, if you have Power of Corruption, which is her tier 3 feat that deals more damage whenever the foe is corrupted, so on top of that, you're also doing more damage, and that also means that the enemy pikeman is also doing more damage to you if you are fighting down there next to the ram. Now, also keep in mind, or up on the objective. Let me also put that out there. Now, keep in mind, only use Corruption whenever there is multiple people. And the reason why I say that is because if you only use it on one person, you're not really getting the full benefit out of it. Even though that you might have your second and third tier feat, which you're gaining health back, which is awesome. I'm glad that's a thing. Really, right now, out of everybody, the shaman is really the only one that has that. I think even the Boshi might have that, if I remember correctly. I can't remember, but I know for the shaman for sure, has that. And it's great to see another character that does. Now, with that also being said, your kid is evolving around this corruption or this poison, but it's a huge anti-ganking tool, because right now, people, even with second wind and even with taking the chance of going in there and be like, well, I still want to do damage, but if I get in there, I want to hurt them and yada yada yada. Even with people still taking those chances, that's still whittling them down, basically giving your team the upper hand whenever it comes to a fight. So that's, in my personal opinion, I say just run her first tier on everything. But to go through the feats like we normally do, for her first tier, of course, she has Rush and Conquer. Again, I've always said I don't see the point in Rush. To me, you can usually get that if you got Feline Agility as a perk, or even with Conquer, if someone has Clever Tactics on with the perk Conquer, it doesn't really help anything. So to me, right there, that is basically 2 wasted feats. If you want to play her as the anti-ganker. Now, keep this in mind, which there's totally nothing wrong with that, and I love seeing how it happens. And even in this video, you'll see a lot of the times whenever I'm getting ganked by someone and I put corruption on them, you'll see them just run away. Or the other person will unlock but still kind of be there in the back. So, while you're fighting in the back of your mind, you still got to keep, you still got to remember, like, hey, they're still back there waiting, or they ran to the healing, one of the two. So, Elixir of Corruption, again, you gain health from damage dealt to corrupted foes. That also means if your teammates or you're the pikemen or the whoever hits them, and while they are corrupted, you will gain health back from that. You do not have to deal that damage. It's just as long as they take damage, you'll gain health back from it. Arrow Strike takes too long to call in. Easy, it can be dodged easily. Flesh Wound, moderate damage reduction for every 3 seconds. There's no point in that, in my personal opinion, as in right now, as you can deal more damage and also heal over a lot of that damage as well with the corruption. So going into her tier 3, she has Power of Corruption. This is of course what I'm running, which is damage dealt to corrupted foes is increased, which is awesome. She also has Punch Through and Toughest Nails. Now, I kind of don't like Toughest Nails specifically as a defender. And the reason why I say that is because you have to be unlocked to get that extra health. And whenever you're doing that, you're basically taking yourself out of the equation to get that extra health. So in my personal opinion, I don't see it viable for her. Punch Through, your block damage is increased. Again, I don't see that viable. Just because the way her moveset is and everything like that, she can dodge a lot of things and get away with a lot of things as well. And we'll get more into that later on. Hence why I'm saying Power of Corruption is the way to go on this one. Now, her tier 4, Corruption Blast. Again, this is what I'm using as well. Corruption Blast on top of Corruption Blade. This is amazing. So, Corruption Blast is, you'll see it in this particular video, I pop it whenever I'm next to the commander, in the commander's lair section of the map. So I pop that. Now, everyone, including the commander, now has Corruption. So now that means I'm dealing more damage, I'm healing from that damage done. On top of that, now the whole enemy team, since they were near me, are now corrupted. So now that means if somebody on my team decides to go fight them, I'm now going to get more health back from that, plus they're going to deal more damage. I'm sorry, plus I'm going to deal more damage to the commander, since he is corrupted. So now, once Corruption Blast runs off, that's okay. Go ahead and pop Corruption Blade, even though that you're not getting the enemy team with you, but you're still focusing the big guy. You're still focusing the commander. So once you pop that, go ahead and pop Corruption Blade, put that back on the commander, so they still are having a decision to get to you if they want to fight you, but they're having to decide, do they want to take the extra damage and keep giving you health in the process, or let it ride, is the decision that they have to make. Hence why I'm saying just stay with her first tier feats, if anything, because they are very, very good right now. The perks for her, for what I would run, of course, would be Devour, Endurance, and Fresh Focus. Devour is, again, you get more health back than what you're already getting back. Endurance keeps your stamina up. Fresh Focus, if you do get out of stamina for whatever reason, Fresh Focus does helps give that back to you as quick as possible, and that's what I always enjoy. If I do get out of stamina, I want to get back into stamina as quick as I possibly can, and so I can continue the fight. Now, with all that being said and done, up on the screen right now, you'll see that I'll be going into the hero tactics of what the game wants to teach you about the Warmonger, as in her combos. So I necessarily will not be talking about her combos, but I will be talking about the hero-specific moveset that the game also wants to teach you. So you're seeing the combos up on the screen, and I'll get into the hero-specific moveset so we can kill two birds with one stone here. So, Renown. You earn more renown in outnumber fights by controlling objectives and killing enemy soldiers to unlock your feats in a match. This is the same across the board for all Vanguards, so that's pretty much the same. Revenge mode, boost damage and health, all attacks are uninterruptible. Parries and throws knock enemies down, attacks are auto-paid upon activation. That's the same revenge mode as we always know about. Same thing, so nothing new there. Alright, so we have enhanced light attacks. All light attacks are enhanced, not being interrupted if blocked. So you have your forward dodge light. While Warmonger does not have a forward dodge light, she is able to cancel her forward dodge early with a light opener from any direction. Uninterruptible heavy finishers. Heavy finishers are uninterruptible. This includes the heavy follow-up in Praying Claw and Slash. Faintable dodge attacks, Beast of Prey and Prey Upon can be cancelled with the circle button on PS4. Beast of Prey is a side dodge heavy is unblockable, and Prey Upon, the forward dodge heavy, is undodgeable. Chain starters, Zone Attack, On the Prowl, Prey Upon, and Beast of Prey can be chained into a light chain or a heavy finisher. Praying Claw. Praying Claw can be initiated with a guard break input of the or X on the PS4 after either a light attack or a forward/side dodge. It can be held to delay this move along with charging it for a full charge Praying Claw. Now with the full charge Praying Claw, if the Praying Claw is fully charged, it has an uninterruptible property that deals greater hit stun. This stun will allow the Warmonger to get a guaranteed slash follow-up in Praying Claw and Slash. So, you have the stab or slash follow-up. If Praying Claw lands, Warmonger can either input R1, which is a light attack on the PS4 for a guaranteed light attack, or R2, which is a heavy attack, for a heavy attack that is only guaranteed on a full charge Praying Claw. Praying Claw cancel, you can press circle on the PS4 to cancel the Praying Claw. Vicious Impale, which is the Warmonger can initiate a Vicious Impale with X on the PS4 upon parrying an attack, pinning the target as Warmonger pushes them back. Holding the input will extend the duration of the impale. The Poisoning Wall Splat. If Warmonger impales her target into a wall, Warmonger will slash them with her claws, dealing bleed damage. And then finally, the Exhausted Riposte. If the opponent is exhausted and falls to the ground due to a parry by Warmonger, Warmonger will stab her foe, dealing as the same damage as a Poisoning Wall Splat, including the bleed damage. And Warmonger will also regain all of her stamina after the attack is finished. So, that is anything and everything that you can need to know on the Warmonger and how to use her effectively, as I did talk earlier on how I like to use her whenever we're going over the feats. So hopefully I answered a lot of questions, comments, concerns, and stuff like that. If I did miss anything, please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.